So to give you an idea of some of the decor that you can expect to find in France, let's go and have a look inside this wonderful apartment. It's not somewhere where I've stayed before, but you can just see it's just exquisite. I mean, it really is just stunning. Everything you'd want from, well, a luxury holiday, really. It's just, and it's not even, this is even classed as luxury. This is just the norm in France. Just the decor, the style, really, really, really lovely. So I am very much looking forward to a night here. We've got a meal shortly, as I say. The roads down were absolutely fantastic. I must say, I just adore driving in France. They are so easy to drive, and there's hardly anyone on them, it seems. Oh, I was on a bit of a toll road at one point. Well, for most of the journey, actually, really, really lovely. Hardly any traffic. Birds seem to be picking up now. It's really brilliant. So yes, tomorrow is our first full day in France. Really can't wait to get back to my house. I've not been there for 2 years, and I really can't wait to see how it's looking, how the garden is. I mean, I've just, with COVID and everything, I've not been able to visit, so really can't wait to try and bring you some of the gems that are found in terms of wildlife and the flora around this area. Just absolutely brilliant. You would not believe we're only 4.5 hours south of Calais. So yes, a real little gem. And say, this is the main town. This is kind of the local, this is a district department of Mayenne, which is in the Pays de la Loire region. There's kind of the northern tip almost, if you like, just before it goes into lower Normandy. So a really lovely part of France, and one that's very easily accessible. I mean, as I say, from Calais, about 4.5 hours, and it was just a dream to get to. No problems on the roads whatsoever. And I even saw a stork, my first ever stork. I was just going down the motorway, and I happened to spot this thing flying towards me with huge sort of feathered fingertips almost on the edge of the wings. Absolutely glorious bird. So really hoping I can try and get some of that, and some of the other birds, as I say, and insects and everything else that I can't wait to show you. So hopefully after dinner I'm going to take a bit of a walk into town, to the main bridge. This is the town of Mayenne, as I say, but it has the Mayenne River flowing right the way through the middle of it. So a really, really gorgeous little spot. If you're ever visiting this part of the world, make sure you stop off at Mayenne. Yes, and I'm really looking forward to getting to the house tomorrow, having a look at it and see what we can see. So I better get spruced up and ready for dinner, and we'll see you in the morning. Well, just about to pull in to the house that I've not seen for nearly 2 years, so can't wait to see this place again and show you guys the garden and inside the house, but the garden really is something nice. So let's go have a look. So here it is from the outside. This little gem of a place, not far from the main part of the town in Ambrièrés-les-vallées, which is where we are. It's absolutely gorgeous little town. There's a fantastic river, the River Varenne, which shortly I'll take you down to the garden by the river, which is just possibly the main reason I bought this house. Absolutely gorgeous. However, it appears we have a little visitor or a new neighbour, should I say, since we last visited, which is this lovely little kind of orchard garden that's opposite the house, which is absolutely delectable. It goes right down to the Varenne, which is just on the other side, which is a tributary of the Mayenne, which then flows into the main section of the Loire further south. So yes, this is all part of the kind of the tributaries of the Loire Valley. So really, really lovely spot. So yes, nice to have a new neighbour. Anyway, let's go take a look inside the house. Well, before we go in the house, actually, I'll just show you inside the garage, because a couple of trips previously I managed to get some bargains in terms of furniture, and yeah, I think it's well worth a look. If I can remember which key. There we are. Excuse the cobwebs. So yes, this is the garage. Some canes and spirals left over from a planting spree. And yeah, some of this is some of the wonderful furniture we picked up for another steal, really, locally, which is just wonderful. This is a couple of dressers, and this one's got a big top to it, which is brilliant. We've got a bookcase over there, and these skis were left over from the previous occupants, which I just love. They are so brilliant. Proper old wooden skis. There's an old chest in there. We've got another chest of drawers, a little table with a little marble top on. These have got marble tops to them as well, these cabinets, which is really nice. And a little old bread bin for putting your baguette in. Yeah, lovely place. And then upstairs, which I won't go up there today, I'll just put a clip in a second, but it's just a blank canvas basically. So what we'd like to do in time, when the main house is done, because I've not got enough to do with my day job, is turn this into like a one bed gîte with sort of a lounge diner down here in time. But yeah, it really is a nice little addition, and of course it's given me lots of space to store tools and stuff that we haven't been able to use yet or put into the house, because obviously we're still renovating it. So yeah, really exciting stuff. So let's go and have a look in the main house. Well, I have the key, so yeah, let's go and have a look, see what we can find. Now remember, I've not been in this house for 2 years. I'm really looking forward to seeing what's in here. We've also just had a visit from the neighbour's cat Minette, who is absolutely lovely, who likes to follow us everywhere. And when I was here last time, she was up exploring all the rooms, as I was. Our lovely neighbour Christine has been looking after the house during the bad winds that they had over here. When we did earlier on in the year, they were pretty bad. So she came over, she very kindly closed all the shutters so they weren't flapping and bashing about, which is a very good thing. So yes, thank you very much, Christine, very much appreciative of that. And she's even cut back the forsythia so we can actually get in today, which is always a bonus. So let's go and have a look. Well, this is just as I remember it, and it's one of the main reasons we bought this place, was because there's this gorgeous original 1920s spiral staircase which goes right the way up to the top floor, 2 floors. I'm in there. It's just, well, as you can see, I just fell for this place on day one. Right, I'll take you into the basement. Those of you that are afraid of eerie dark places, switch off now. Flick the light on. This is kind of a bit of a bonus really. This is somewhere that I want to develop into a bit more of a kind of a boot room in time, but it's actually for a basement in France. It's pretty good nick, and this is where we have the main boiler, which does need replacing, and the water heater, but we have running water. We have a little mini toilet, and yeah, it's not a bad little space down here, and that's the back door out to the side. And in here, I forget which light it is. It's already on. What I think could take quite nicely to being a wine cellar. It's yeah, quite a nice little place. Very cool in here. So yeah, lots and lots to do on this place. Of course, it's got to have a whole rewire. Just brush the cobwebs off. It's got to have a whole rewire through the house. So anybody watching this know any good electricians in this area of France, then please do let me know. Equally, plumber as well, I'm going to need at some point, because the boiler is about the same age as me. So yes, it could do with replacing, although it does work still very efficiently. So very much looking forward to getting cracking with this place. Probably later on this year. COVID really has had a huge impact. This was due to we worked on, well, a couple of years back, but alas, COVID put paid to a lot of plans, not just mine, obviously. So let's go explore the rest of the house, shall we? Oh, mind your head. So that's the back door out to the lovely little courtyard behind, which is really nice actually. A little under cupboard stairs, or under the stairs cupboard, shall I say. And then this is the main room. Which is kind of the kitchen slash diner. So this in time will have the main kitchen area over there. And this will be the main living room with these lovely, of course, very French tall windows. Which give a lovely view out up to the way in essence. And to the right is the garage, which also came with the property, where I'm storing at the moment many things. Which also needs renovating, but has had the render redone on it, which is nice. And to the left is the Varenne River, which we shall go and look at in a moment in the garden. Hello. I did tell you she was very nosy. So this is an absolutely gorgeous mirror that we picked up for not a lot of money actually. I think this was about 50 euros, which was a steal, because it's a gorgeous original mirror, which is very heavy, but will hang probably on that wall there, because it, unfortunately, is almost top of the fireplace right to the ceiling. So a bit of a shame, but it will go in one of the rooms, probably behind us. And yes. So this room, as I say, is in need of a complete gut and start again, but some lovely existing features. The wood panelling will keep and just paint over, because it is a really nice feature. And yeah, as I say, all the electrics to do. Looks like it was the old fire station. Right, let's go and have a look at the rest of the house, shall we? These lovely wooden stairs really are quite something. So this is the first of the 2 bedrooms on this floor. This is a smaller room where I had previously started stripping these lovely polystyrene tiles, which are actually a bit of a fire hazard nowadays. So They've all come off the ceiling, and the ceiling will have a bit of a false ceiling installed so that we can skim over it, because also the rewiring, as I say, with the electrics is going to be redone. So false ceiling going in there, all of this wallpaper to come off. I think it's probably okay, it doesn't need plastering or anything. And then we've just got the electrics to do. Other than that, this room isn't far off, but you can see from up here, they have not been open for a while. The lovely mayor's house up on top of the hill that we look out on, with a fantastic lime tree next to it. And then the garage down to the right below that. One thing I do love about this place is the original features, and that's another reason that we were drawn to it. Now, one thing is the floor, which you'll see more of in there, but these lovely original doors and the church bells. How gorgeous. Yeah, these doors really are quite wonderful. Although why you'd put wallpaper on the back of them, I'm not quite sure. Anyway, yes, another lovely feature. So let's have a look in the main bedroom. So this is the main bedroom at the moment, and as you can see, hence the pile of polystyrene tiles in the corner. This is where I stripped all the ceiling last time I was here. But you can see the floor, just this gorgeous original oak floor, which is just, wow. Yeah, if you were to replace that now, it would cost a fair few quid. And again, another lovely, lovely feature are these existing fireplaces with these lovely marble tops. Absolutely just delicious. With a lovely little hearth, it really is quite something. And then the view again from here is similar to what we've just seen. So we've got two small bedrooms, well, one decent sized bedroom and one smaller bedroom on this level, and then in here, which will probably be one of the first projects, is the bathroom, which needs a complete gutting and starting again. There's a little toilet in there, so this is going to be reconfigured. But a little toilet in there, bath, shower. It does work, although it's not the most attractive of colours in here. This will get redone completely, but the best feature in here is that. Right, that's a grand tour of the bathroom and that wonderful view. Now let's go to the top floor and see what the view's like from there. Yeah, these stairs really are a work of art. Those of you that are carpenters will know the detail and work that's gone into creating this curving spiral right the way. It's about 9 metres from top to bottom, so a hell of a staircase. Currently being used by myself and Minette. Right, let's go and have a look at the top level. Here we go. Excuse the mess. So last time I was here, I was, well, having a bit of fun knocking a wall down. Now this was 2 doors and a partition wall, which you can see from the ceiling ran right the way over to that window. Really odd setup. But what we want to do up here is turn this into one big master bedroom, which will be absolutely lovely. It was 3, so you've got the space behind you there, the blue bedroom, and then the footballer's bedroom. Not sure if the boy that lived in this bedroom went on to be anyone famous or not, but it really is a lovely space, and we're hoping to put, hello Minette, we're hoping to put potentially a bath in here as well, to have it as a bit of a kind of a semi-ensuite, main bed over there, and have a bit of a kind of an adjoining lounge area. So it's just a really nice space to come and spend some time. And again, you can see this really odd setup where you've got this wall bisecting right down the middle of this window. So if you have a look there, you can see it's a bit of an odd one. So that will come out along with this wall here, which will be then a nice open space throughout here. That radiator will have to move to the wall, and we've already got one radiator on this wall here. So yeah, and a lovely little fireplace which I kind of unearthed last time, which was yeah, another nice little find in this gem of a house. You've got a very small loft space which is accessed through that loft hatch. I poked my head up there last time. I'm not in any rush to go back up there. However, come and have a look out of this window. Well, that's a quick tour of the house and a view from this wonderful window on this top floor. So let's go downstairs and I'll show you the garden. Well, I think it's that key. Let's go out the back door and have a look. There's actually another little parcel, typical France. Gardens never usually come directly with the property. They're either adjoining or nearby, and up those steps down there there's a little white gate to the top part of the garden. Tell you what, let's go and have a quick look, shall we? So down this little bucolic passageway There's the garden at the end, which is actually the top garden. We didn't really know we had this part of land when we bought the house, so quite a nice little addition. But what I love about it here is there's just naturally regenerating scrub, and you've got things like ash through the back there, you've got hazel, goat willow, silver birch, there's an alder above you, and it's just fantastic. It's a really, really nice, in fact no, it's not, it's hazel. Thought it was an alder, but yeah, they're similar in leaf. But it's really, really nice around here. So let's go and have a look at the top part of the garden, and then we'll go down and have a look at the river. I do love these. These are the flowers of navelwort, which are rather gorgeous. They look like a bit of an orchid from a distance, and kind of the flowers are quite tubular, a bit like foxglove, but they just kind of cover this rocky, stony outcrop, which is part man-made but part existing. You can see down here, I mean, this is just original rock. So, and funnily enough, the road behind here is Rue des Rocs, which is yeah, where it probably gets its name from. But a really lovely wilderness, and back there is a little house that used to be habited, but it's no longer. A tiny little thing, lovely little thing, and it's just derelict now, which is wonderful. But yes, a real treasure trove back there. So when we've had a look at this garden, we'll go and have a look at the river and show you just exactly how good it is for nature. A really lovely view from here of the mayor's house, and this is the top garden, so it's just a nice little addition. I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do with this yet, but yeah, quite a lovely little spot. South facing, so very good. Let's go and have a look at the top, shall we? Excuse me a minute. Just going nice and steady, because around here, with all the rock, and you can see this is like part of a series of terraces, it makes brilliant habitat for lizards. And actually, there's a local lizard known as the wall lizard, which is common throughout a lot of Europe. And I'm just looking at this black sheeting thinking, which is obviously put down by the previous owners to try and combat the bindweed a little bit, but I'm just looking around thinking they're probably basking on this, although it's a bit hot now. It's probably about 20 degrees, but they're all in and out that wall. And when we came to visit the garden before, the wall lizards were all through the area down by the river. So I've noticed, which is nice to see actually, here we have a lot of oxeye daisies down the back. Yeah, so quite a nice natural occurrence of oxeye daisy here, and one of my favourites, Verbena bonariensis, which is obviously just blown in from seed, or on the wind it's blown in and self-set itself in this part of the garden, which I don't mind at all. Hello, Minette. And we've got a little bit of St. John's work coming up there. Don't you snap my only verbena flower. A really nice wild feel. Obviously there's a bit of goat willow there, which has just plonked itself there and is doing quite nicely, as they do. Another one here. I just love that wall as a backdrop, it really is stunning. I'd like to try and create a decent herbaceous border through here, but of course the problem is with not living here full time, it's then maintaining it and trying to keep on top of the bindweed. So I'm in two minds. I'd also like to create a lot of meadow here because it is a decent patch and it's south facing, gets sun pretty much all day, and it really is a cracking spot. Oh, look at that. Swift zooming past the top of the house. I'm pretty sure they could get into the roof if they wanted to, the Swifts, so fingers crossed one day there might be some Swifts in the roof, because there's some little sort of holes in the brickwork just below the eaves. Well, I think it's time I showed you the pièce de résistance, and that's the river garden. Let's go and have a look. Well, I was just about to head down to the river garden, and I thought I'd just do a quick stop up here, and you can see my neighbour Christine's garden. She's got some new additions. There's some chickens at the top of the garden there. She's got some wonderful stuff in here, lots and lots of vegetables. Really great, lovely pollinated plants as well. And she's been looking after a swamp cypress for me, which I'm going to plant in the meadow and the river garden when I come back in September time. So she's very kindly been watering that in a pot for me, along with some hollies, for the last 2 years. So really big thanks to her for that. But yes, this is such a lovely garden. Very, very pretty. And yeah, she's obviously put a lot of effort into this garden, which I'm sure many of you can appreciate how much work a garden takes, and particularly when you're growing your own veg. So yes, really, really nice to see. Let's go and see this river garden. Okay, let's head down to the river garden. Excuse me a minute. I did warn you guys, she likes to follow us when we are in the house. So these are the old steps up to the old garden, which leads up to the house at the top. Absolutely just gorgeous. You couldn't recreate a landscape like that if you tried, I don't think. It's just purely time that has made it look this way, which is absolutely wonderful. And there it is. How quaint is that? Really lovely. That's one of the neighbours' house. I'm sorry, by the way, for the very noisy song thrush at the top of that spruce tree. Some of you may have seen the recent video I did on the song thrush dawn chorus all by itself, really, in Bourne Woods, which, if you haven't seen, check it out. Just amazing birds. So nice to see those around. They're obviously a declining bird in the UK, now red listed, and they are one that we don't often get in our garden so much. But here you can see more evidence of the rocks, which really are quite something. And the red valerian absolutely doing what it should be doing. This Mediterranean wonder, which is good for so many insects. 2 years ago when I was here, I had hummingbird hawk moth nectaring on that. It's a favourite of theirs. But these rocks really are quite wonderful. So it's now time to head down that passageway there. So accompanied by Lynette, we're now going to go and explore the garden, which is just a very short walk down this passageway. Now, as I say, in France it's kind of customary to have a piece of land that's not directly attached to your house. Any of you that have properties in France or have visited France, or friends that have gardens and houses in France, you'll know that this is kind of atypical of how the French work. And there's an incredibly interesting caterpillar I've just seen on this borage. Those of you that are caterpillar experts, I'll get a clip of that on the way back and put it in the video. Anyway, so we've just had another wall lizard, number 2, which is really nice, and that's, I'm sure, just 2 of many that we'll find down here. So taking the rocks on the way down, they really are quite fantastic. That That is what I want my swamp cypress to turn into in 50 years. Deciduous tree, really, really gorgeous tree. More of this wonderful navel work. Already, the garden is just around this corner. Already I can hear chiff-chaff, wren, blackcap, cat. Look at these foxgloves as well. True native foxglove just clinging onto the edge of this rock. Really remarkable. Absolutely gorgeous. Here we go. Speckled wood straight away. So the garden starts from that point to your right there. And boy oh boy has it grown in 2 years. When we first visited, there were rows of conifers along this side which were getting a bit unruly and they were dying back. So the last time I was here, I actually cleared them out to make way for a lot of new planting. But when I first visited back in September 19, one of the things that drew me to this house more than anything probably was this set of stairs down to this really picturesque little gateway. So let's go and take a look. Well, this isn't quite how I left it. Nature really has taken its course here, but that's the whole point. And straight away, we've got this nettle leaf bellflower, which is just naturally occurring within the meadow. Absolutely wonderful. Some wood dock as well. Some really nice stuff in here. Silver birch, look at that. Within 2 years, 5 foot plus. Goat willow as well. Definitely needs a slight tame in the autumn. Look at this lovely alder tree, which has just, I think, self-seeded itself. So that's 2 years. I don't remember cutting that. So that's 6'6" plus. So you can see the benefits, if that was coppice, why they are so good. It's just brilliant. I mean, this was, I could just walk through here before, and obviously I'll put an overlay in of some of the shots of when I left. This was flat, this was level. There was none of this here. So you've got goat willow there that's 12, 14 foot tall. But you can just hear the life. And actually at the back to the left is ancient woodland, so you've got a series of, well, wonderful trees through there. Well, as you can see, welcome to the jungle. It really has just, well, gone ballistic over the last two and a bit years. Well, not even that, it was July 2020 when I was last here. So what I've come to this side of the garden to do is just see how things are looking, because I planted a lot of native trees and shrubs in here, and I just wanted to see how they were faring, because you can see a lot of this is actually bramble that's just encroaching, and I think if left over the next 2 or 3 years would just revert to bramble cover. Minette's come to help me try and trim some of them back. Not today, sadly. We are heading further down to the southwest of France to go and see a client about rewilding 3 hectares potentially near the Pyrenees. So really looking forward to that. So sadly we've only got one night in the area, and we are this afternoon heading down south to Niort and La Rochelle tomorrow on the coast. So really can't wait for that. However, they're still here. So this is a crabapple that I planted as a little whip, and you can see now it's, well, nearly 7 foot. And there's another one here, and the older tree, my God, well, that's not struggling. That went in as a probably 3 or 4 foot whip 2 years ago, and look at the height of that. That's easily 12, 13 foot now. Amazing trees, alders, and of course they thrive in wet conditions, along with this goat willow, which I also planted. Not sure why I did, because it's coming up everywhere. But anyway, a really good one. And you've got naturally occurring things like this little hazel sprouting up. You've got these gorgeous ferns. I just can't wait to come back and do a bit of a clearance in here in September time. I did plant right the way through there. How successful any of the stuff in there is, I'm not sure. Although I can see a couple of sprigs of silver birch poking up, so it might be a case that we actually clear some of this, assess what some of the natural regeneration is. And I mean, you've got some classic things in here that love the wet conditions. This is meadow sweet just unfurling. We've got figwort back there, water figwort. We've got purple loosestrife popping up all over the place. I mean, look just to the right there, that's almost an entire grove of silver birch trees which have just sprouted up after this area was cleared before I bought the property. So they really are very quick at establishing, and I cannot wait to come back and start managing this. Sadly, we lost a tree a couple of years ago which is now leaning on the back of one of the 2 big alders that are on the riverbank, which I'll have to clear up before it drops in the river at some point. But there's some cracking trees in here. I mean, there's a nice spruce on the left, and then there's the 2 big alders and a big spruce just to the right, along with this gorgeous backdrop behind me. Which is just swathes of ancient woodland. That woodland at the back there is full of bluebells and all sorts of wonderful things that I've never really properly explored, and it's just untouched. Nobody even goes back there, and you can tell because the chiff chaff, the song thrush, we've got 2 or 3 black caps. It's just alive. There's ash trees back there, oak trees, cherry. We've got beautiful demoiselles now appearing on the riverbank. I'll try and get to the river in a second and get a couple of clips of the river for you, because it's just a wonderful place, but it's just really tricky to access. And on the riverbank, obviously, I'll get a clip of the willow tree. So yeah, a really nice spot. Can't wait to get back here. So I hope everyone, you've really enjoyed a little mini tour of my house and garden here in France. In all seriousness, if anybody's happy to volunteer their services, or they know of anyone who is willing to help on this, well, bit of an undertaking over the next few years. I'm in no rush. I'm not planning to move here anytime soon, thanks to good old Brexit. Oh, and a buzzard. I don't know if you saw that or not, but it's soaring along the edge of the tree line. So really nice to see. So yes, I really hope you've enjoyed exploring this part of France with me. Stay tuned to the channel. I'll be doing more videos of the Pyrenees in my venture coming up over the next few days, and other parts of France as and when I see them. So thank you so much for watching the video. Feel free to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, where I will be posting more updates on the house and this renovation project here. And I'm sure wherever she's gone now, Minette will be, oh there she is, Minette will be following me on my journey. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, guys. Really appreciate the support, and I will see you all very soon.